Matthew, Puka, some of these coaches. I think I kind of stepped up y'all swag since being here because we know Cooper Kupp is a hell of an individual and I love him to death. But that man, we know he wasn't bringing a whole lot of swag to the equation
or deodorant.
Welcome to Fitz and Whit. I'm Fitz, that's Whit, and I have my Nick Mangold hat on. They gave it to me at the Patriots game last Thursday night, which was pretty special. This is a Wave original. Subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. And don't forget to give us 5 stars. Follow the show on social media at Fitz and Whit. That's Fitz, A-N-D, Whit. New episodes every Wednesday.
All right, Fitz, we're going to get a chance to take them through a wild week of NFL action. My Rams, your Bills. We had some good wins, baby. Come on.
Go Bills. Go Bills.
We'll get a little recap of our time in Boston. What a great city. And we will also talk about one rule change that the NFL needs to adopt. But first, our guest today is a 6-time Pro Bowler, a 3-time All-Pro, 2 times receiving touchdown leader. He had his 15 retired by the Fresno State Bulldogs. He's a wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams. Give a big Fitz and Whit welcome to Davante Adams, baby.
Hey.
Let's go.
Appreciate it.
What's up, Let's Davante? Go. The 1,000-catch man, Whit.
I mean.
Oh, my goodness. Davante, I was just looking at it. So you're 17th all-time with 1,000 catches. You need 103 more to be top 3 behind Jerry Rice and Larry Fitzgerald. Did you know that?
I didn't, man. To be honest, I feel like I attribute a lot of my success and, some of the blessings that I've had from just keeping my head down and just staying focused. And then, whether that was college, high school, whatever it was, I was never like presently thinking about, I'm doing this to get to college, or I'm doing this to get drafted next year or whatever. I just kind of looked up my last year in school and I was like, oh, dang, we got 1,700 yards and 24 touchdowns. Okay. That's cool, So I just kind of like to keep my head down and just keep working and, see what happens when I'm done.
Who were some of the legends that you, just growing up, that you loved watching play receiver?
To be honest, a lot of my influence, into my game, was more hoopers. But when I did, because I had a late start to playing football. I didn't play till my junior year in high school, so I didn't really study the game the way that I did basketball growing up. And then I would say probably in high school, once I started really looking at some of the stuff, looking into some of the older guys, Santana Moss was a big inspiration to me as far as, the route tree and understanding how to run routes and, spatial awareness at the receiver position. Dez Bryant was another, that was a big time influence to me, just watching somebody learn how to play the position like a true dog. And then I think somebody that was closer to age than me, when I was in high school, up the road, Keenan Allen went to Cal, and that was somewhere that I dreamt of going to play. And I felt like the way he played the game was very, very similar to, how I seen it and some of the things that I seen, the basketball, the releases and stuff like that. So Keenan was actually one of the bigger inspirations to me. And I actually ended up telling him in maybe my 3rd year in the league, I was like, bro, we've been hanging out and we've been, peers for a minute. I really want you to know, before I knew you, you were basically my idol, somebody that I looked up to and made it feel like it was more of a reachable goal for me, seeing somebody that moved kind of similar to how I move. So, I guess that's 3 of them that meant a lot to me and stood out to me when I was younger.
That's cool you said that, because I grew up hoops was something I paid attention way more to. I didn't really think I would be a football player growing up because I was tall and lanky, for that matter, and slow. So I definitely wasn't going to run any routes or anything. I was going to have to play under the hoop. But to you, who were some of those hoopers? Because I know you've been in the barbershop, so I know these conversations always happening with Reggie Scott talking about hoopers and basketball. So who were some of those guys that inspired you?
To be honest, my 2 favorite players all time, AI was my biggest, basketball inspiration. And then Darren Williams. Those were two guys that I looked at, that was going to be me, at that point when I was looking at, me having aspirations of playing in the NBA. I wasn't about to be 6'8", so it wasn't no use in trying to be like Bron. I was trying to find somebody that, was more comparable to my skill set and, my height and things like that. So just watching how those guys move, D. Will with the sharp crossover, I kind of took that into some of my releases. And then AI with the, the Hezzy and his crossover. that's basically exactly how I move, even to this day. The way I scored, the touchdown this past Sunday and my 1,000th catch was actually, straight out of AI's book. So that's probably been my main inspiration, I would say, Allen Iverson.
I played with a dude that when you do that kind of stuff at the goal line, it reminds me a lot of Stevie Johnson.
Stevie
when I was on the Bills, it was
is another big time one, especially being from the Bills.
Yeah, but his thing was basketball. He loved playing basketball, and so when I laugh every time I think about Saquon Barkley, every time the poor Eagles, he has a run down to the 1 or 2 yard line, and in his mind he's like, God damn it, now we're gonna watch the tush push and whatever. But then I think about you, because Stevie was the same way. Like, if they're going to cover you one-on-one down there, I think you got to be clapping if you guys get down on the 1 or 2 yard line, because if they play you one-on-one, nobody can guard you down there.
100%. We get a little cocky when we start getting down there, because we know between Matthew, Kyra and his ability to run it in from really anywhere, but definitely when we get down there tight, and Sean, the way he schemes it up, and then me, out there on the outside in that 13 personnel is giving people some problems, man. They don't really know what's coming, so they say, okay, if we double Tay here, that now we're like, all right, great, that's just one less we got to worry about in the run game and got to account for. So we like those numbers, and basically we're just playing the numbers game. You want to go one-on-one, and we would love to see that. Just add another one to to make it 114 next week if they want to do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, you said that about the Hoopers because it made me think of it. We got to one of the cool things right now with us, with Amazon, Davante, is with the NBA on Prime coming on. So, like, we've kind of gotten to do some things with them and collab a little bit. And we got a couple weeks ago to go to the set and hang around with those guys and shoot shots and stuff. And to me, like, growing up, I'm like, man, this is cooler than, like, being around NFL guys, because I grew up, like, watching hoops. So to sit there with Blake and Dirk and Nash and all those guys, it's like, man, this is. And Dwayne Wade was there for I went to the actual opening night thing, and man, I'm just sitting there like, man, I'm a little kid right now. Like, this is crazy being around these guys and how much inspiration I got from them.
100%. No, that's exactly how I'd be. I think us too, like, we forget how synonymous this thing is. Like, I get around, I go to get invited to certain, maybe pretty exclusive parties or an event or whatever, and I get there, and then I'm just, a little humble Tay, thinking that, I'm just. It's just little old me, and then I meet Jay-Z or something, and Jay-Z's like, "Hey man, nice to meet you." I'm like, "What the hell? You know who I am?" So when you get an opportunity to kind of cross over, sometimes, you get to see how much they find us cool sometimes, which we think is weird, and then we like, man, we think y'all are cool. You get to hoop all day, and they're like, okay, that's kind of weird. So, but yeah, I love the aspect of being able to kind of collab. Obviously, what you guys do, you get a lot of opportunities to do that, but. Post career for me, I'm sure it'll be the same. You'll have plenty of opportunities to get around some of those guys, and anything basketball, I'm in.
Hey, it's crazy you say that. When I retired, my first Rams game I went to was the Bills-Rams opener of the season after we won the Super Bowl. So I'm at the game, and I took the kids, and so we're hanging out. And I'd never been to a game with my kids before, and we go to get in the elevator to leave, and Bron and Jay-Z are like in the elevator going down because it has to go down through Mr. Kroenke's suite, and both of them like nod at me like, "What's up, big dog?" And my kids both look at me and go like, Jay-Z and LeBron? And I'm like, no. But they just said hello.
You gotta say, just tell them,
I do
just
now.
keep rolling.
Yeah, we cool now. Yeah, we cool. I tried to play it cool as I could, but I was like, nah, actually I don't. But that was really cool. They just said, what's up?
Yeah, no, there's nothing like a real organic interaction like that. Like, I have a similar one. Fanatics Fest that Michael Rubin does out there in New York. So he did that this past year, and he had we were doing like signings. It's me, Wemby, like it's like millions of dudes out there. There's so many athletes that were there, signing, interacting with the fans, and doing that whole thing. So we ended up going to this thing called the 40/40 Club, which they brought back. It's kind of an old school thing, and it's music playing. It's basically like a club going on in the middle of this convention center, and music, and people are having drinks and everything. It's a cool event. And when Bron walks through, I don't know if you've ever been in a place when Bron shows up, but they make sure everybody know that LeBron James is there. So, So when he pull up, we in there, everybody's just kind of hanging out. It's kind of like a nightclub type vibe, but it's lit and it's during the day. So it's kind of, it's chill. They want everybody to know LeBron's there apparently. So they're bringing him through with like basically the Secret Service, and he walks through and they cut the music off, everything he's walking through. And I'm just sitting there and I see him, and everybody. It's like one of those movies where the pretty girl walks in and the music cuts off and everything goes slow. That's basically what it felt like when he came in. Everybody's staring at him, and he walked by, and I'm just sitting there, just chilling. I'm kind of like by where, because he's going up to the back, like behind everybody else, and his section is with Jay-Z, and they're all like behind us. So he walks by and he don't say nothing to nobody. He's just coming in. He kind of like looking at people, giving a couple head nods. And out of nowhere, he just acknowledged only me in the whole building. He sees me and like goes out of his way.
Yeah.
He go out of his way and he was like, "Yeah, baby, I see you in LA." And he like dapped me up. And I'm like, like, what the hell is going on there? And everybody looking at me like, it's kind of like how your kids were looking at you. Like, what is going on? Why are you the only person he acknowledged in here? I'm like, I don't know, but you know me, I just played it cool like we always do that.
Oh, yeah. No, that's my dude. Yeah, that's my guy.
Oh, you mean Brian?
When the Super Bowl was in Vegas, Amazon had a little setup, and Shaquille O'Neal came in, and I was like, "Hi, Shaq, Ryan Fitzpatrick, pleasure to meet you." And he said, "I know who you are," and just kept walking. He didn't want to talk to me, but he at least knew who I was. So
you also got finger gunned. Don't forget about getting finger gunned.
I got finger gunned by Kevin Costner, which was a big one too. That you obviously haven't been out much with Whit in L.A., the mayor of L.A. It sounds like your experience with LeBron there is exactly like anywhere I go with Whit.
Come on.
The whole place shuts down. He knows the owners.
That sounds about right, especially these days. I mean, these days it's different.
It's crazy.
And I'm not saying Whit is Hollywood, but he has been made Hollywood by other people, I think.
Oh my gosh!
There's no doubt about that, because I knew Andrew Whitworth back when. I mean, he was a Louisiana boy.
Yeah.
He was living his best life in Cincinnati for the Bengals. This is not the same Andrew Whitworth I was teammates with in 07, 08 day.
No, it happens, bro. They call it the LA effect. It actually happened to my old teammate Brian Balaga. Had the same thing. He used to talk so much smack about Cali. I hate California. I'm just this big Iowa bred dude. And then, they go out to Cali and it changes them, man. I don't know what it is, but it's just something there.
Well, I only drink sparkling water now. It's just the whole thing.
It's crazy. Well, it's also the only reason we're talking about basketball, guys, too, is because Whit wants me to tell the story of how he challenged Dirk Nowitzki to a 3-point shooting contest in the new NBA studio, 3 shots. And Andrew Whitworth won the 3-point shooting contest versus Dirk. So
wow,
there you have it.
I mean, listen, Davante, listen, I don't draw it up. Things happen how they happen. You know what I mean?
And who wrote the script for that one?
How it comes. Listen, it was one of those things. I was shooting good, and he was like, "Man, you got a good shot." He goes, "Why don't we shoot best out of 3, see what happens?" And it was his first couple shots, so he wasn't warmed up.
Yeah.
He missed all 3. I missed all mine until my last one. I switched it, and I ran through the gym like, "Hey, it doesn't matter how it happened.
Hey,
it's a dub, baby.
We'll take it.
It's a dub."
Sometimes you get one that just smacks the flag stick real hard and drops in the hole. So I mean, hey, you got to take them how you can get them.
Speaking of flag sticks, Davante, I wrote down something from the American Century Championship from the last 2 years. So 2 years ago, we got to play a bunch together. You finished with a total of 14 points. I was 16. Whit was 38. Last year, Whit was 12, which is a terrible score for him. I was -1, which is terrible.
Yeah.
And you were -12.
Yeah.
I mean, what is going on with the golf game right now?
You know what? And me and Whit, we actually had a little conversation about this. I think your boy, what happened was, I just got golfed out, bro. I went to Cabo.
Yep.
I went to Cabo before. I got like a sweet spot when I can perform well. I cannot go into something like that without really preparing, and I also can't do too much. And this year, I think I just OD'd. I worked on my game a lot.
Hey, it happens.
It does.
Look, I worked on my game a lot because it means a lot to me to be good at anything that I'm doing, especially if I'm taking it serious. And I take golf really serious. It's something that I really enjoy doing. So I was out in Cabo for like 10 days straight before, and I golfed every day, and then went straight from there to the American Century and played in all the pro-ams and this and that, and then boom, we get in front of people. And I just got off to a horrible start. Honestly, it was a mental thing. Like, it was to the point where I'm not a quitter, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Like, y'all are my boys. I legitimately was thinking throughout the first round,
dude,
I might withdraw from this thing.
Yeah.
The Jerry Rice back tightness? Is that what you were going to go
I was going to say that. That wasn't the real thing, but I couldn't find anything because I was doing cartwheels and shit the day before, so I couldn't use that.
Oh, dude, it's so true. My 2 worst performances have been both times that I've gone there right after playing every day for like 10, 12 days. I believe in the best I've ever played there, not this year, the year before.
Yeah.
I played a lot of golf, and I literally took like a week off and was just like working out, hanging out with the family, chilling on vacay, and came back and played in that thing. And it was almost like that right when you get back to golf and you're just on fire and you're like, man, I don't even know how I'm hitting it good. I just hitting it good.
Yeah.
It was like that.
Yeah.
And it was like taking that little break helped me.
That's smart. And I think I might go that route. I think I might just get like a last little, something right before I go out there, but I don't think I'm going to play as much golf as I did last year because I talked myself out of it somehow. I don't know, but I was very disappointed to say the least.
Those 3 tournament rounds, it's such a grind because you're grinding over every shot.
Yeah.
And then you like you said, you get off the rails early, you have a couple double bogeys, you're in your head. Like those 3 rounds actually equal 6 rounds in terms of like how much you're grinding out there. So we're going to find the happy medium. Hopefully we get to play again this year, though. Enjoyed playing with you, and you are a grinder, dude. You are taking that real serious. And it was fun to play with you. I want to know, switching gears here, just perspective as you get to be one of the older guys in the locker room, and you have different experiences at the tail end of your stuff in Green Bay. You guys are making the playoffs every year, and then you go through a lull where you go to Vegas, then you go to the Jets. How cool is it with this newfound perspective to be in the position you guys are in right now in LA?
I mean, it's a sweet feeling, man. Obviously, I don't take back any of the moves that I made. I think going to the Raiders was a dream come true. It was something that I had to do and would have felt incomplete if I didn't at least give it a shot. It was a real calculated decision, obviously, going out there and playing with my college quarterback. Like it made all the sense in the world to me. And I'm grateful for that time. But to be able to go through a time that was, not as bright days as what I was used to in Green Bay. And then to be able to come back after experiencing, not winning. And I have a greater appreciation for it, where games like last week, that was the worst stat line of my career. And I can come out literally laughing and smiling just because, we did find a way to win that game. And we know those feelings of playing like dog poop and then not winning. It makes it, it just compounds that feeling. So coming out of this one, I felt so much more relieved just to be with a team that can pick me up, in the event that I don't play a great game or we don't play a great game on offense. Those are what the championship or the playoff teams, at a minimum are about. So I really appreciate the experience here. I actually told Matthew and Sean just recently, like, I appreciate y'all boys, man. Just working with you has been amazing. I've been having a lot of fun, and I hope that the world can see that.
That's awesome, man. You really can. I thought it was cool you talking about that inspiration. Talk about that young group of just that receiving room you're in, man. It's cool to hear them talk about you, and then I've also heard you kind of talk about it. I think a couple weeks ago you shared just watching tape with how they compete without the football and how it inspired you some. I think it's just so cool when you get to that latter part of your career and you're like, hey, man, you're the vet in the room. Where inspiration comes from all the time isn't probably some of the places people think, but sometimes looking at those guys, it's as much as anything, right? You want to play with that energy, that youthful energy they have, but also at the same time lead.
Yeah, no, this is a unique team, but definitely this room in particular, because there's not a lot of experience in this room. And when you watch it, like when I came in the league, we had real like mean vets, like, you know what I mean? Like it's different. It was run by like my team was, and I don't mean like personality, but like dude, like people you were more worried about letting them down than getting in trouble by your coach,
Yep.
Like that type of vibe.
Yep.
BJ Raji, Clay Matthews, AJ Hawk,
Yep.
Julius Peppers, and that's just the defensive side of the ball, not to mention Morgan Burnett, Sam Shields, and then you come over, you got Eddie Lacy, Aaron Rock. Like we had some dudes on that team. And I still can't think of a time where the entire room just truly fed off of each other without needing to be overcoached to any like extra degree. Like there's obviously like a ball. You got your coaches that over talk ball security. Like we don't even need to do that here because guys just understand. Like we talk about it, but it's not ad nauseum because it's just understood, and guys get treated like grown men because they act like grown men. I don't have to run around being like an old school vet where I got to really snap guys into shape. Like I told him, like what you were just mentioning, I'm looking at the tape in the Philly game, and my guy made the tackle the only like 3 times of the game, and I told them I'm watching the next game, and Coach Yars made a mention to me about how great I was doing on the backside, and I said, Coach, I appreciate you acknowledging that, but more than anything, these boys in here need to be acknowledged for what you're seeing on me on tape right there. Like I had to have a little reality check, used to catching 120, 115 balls a year, like coming in and playing with Puka this year and this team that we have, that's not necessarily, necessary for me to have to do that. So when you're catching 120 balls, you're not maybe expected to, go and haul ass on the backside and cut off the safety quite as much. But, when you have a team and a guy like Puka who's inserting and going and crushing linebackers, safeties, eliminating corners completely from the run game, like that just puts a different type of onus on me to, own my part of it. And, otherwise, like for me, I've come to this point in my career because I fall in love with the tape. It's not about the stats or any of that. Like I do the right thing enough to where the stats are going to take care of themselves. So I'm not actively thinking about where I am in the game. How many yards do I have? Have I scored? I'm just going to keep beating you over and over. And if I'm going to have that type of intentionality and, determination in my game, then why can't I have it in the run game as well? So like I said, again, having these type of young guys that are pushing me to take my game to the next level at this point in my career, where it's year 12 and they're in year 2, 3, 1, that's what makes this team so great.
I love it. And I just rewatched the Seattle game again, and there were two plays that really stood out to me. I played with a lot of different receivers, and when you're a number one your whole career and you have a game like you did, with the one catch, you're talking about your stat line. The effort was still there the whole time, dude. The plays that stick out, the one that you were blocking and Kyron Williams runs by and you spring him for a long run. And then at the very end, how into that game you were. They called the BSPI on Forbes or whatever, and you're on the sideline screaming at the ref like, you want to win, man, and it jumps off the tape that you want to win. I want to ask you, though, the red zone stuff seems to be figured out chemistry-wise with Matthew, your guys' fades, the slants, little corner route. I love last week that he came to you on the fade. It didn't work out, and he came right back to you on the next one that you scored. Mm-hmm. What about just the stuff in the field? It still feels like there's some chemistry stuff that you're working on. How are you intentional about that with a guy like Matthew, a veteran guy? Because you played for so long with Aaron. You obviously played with Carr for college, and then a little bit with the Raiders, and then Aaron again. How do you and Matthew go about continuing to work on that chemistry?
Well, I mean, obviously not having training camp together, that slowed some things down and hindered our ability to come out blazing, starting the season how we intended on doing. And being, it being me and, the quarterback being him, like you expect to come out and make things happen. But the reality is you got to be, you got to work as one. That's really what it's about, and understanding each other's body language. There's so many aspects and it's, I don't need to tell you, you obviously understand, but a part of it is the progression as well. Some of the things that, what I'm doing, I'm running deeper routes down the field. So obviously it's a little bit more feast or famine with some of the things that we're doing, trying to get some shots, deeper bench cuts and stuff like that, where it's not as easy to get the ball in my hands as it would be with Aaron on some of these run solutions, me catching a bubble backside and turning that into, a 15-yard gain. Right. So just being able to kind of get a flow within the game is not necessarily as easy when I'm not catching as many slants, and and that's just the way that this offense has kind of been for us, and it's worked obviously. So this isn't me, saying anything negative about it. It's more of just calling a spade a spade. And the rest, I mean, just anytime we don't connect on something, like we just keep going, back to the well, just figuring it out in practice. At first I was kind of not practicing quite as much because I had a hammy situation. So I wasn't going Wednesdays, but now me feeling better, more healthy, I've been, practicing every day and making sure I'm out there so we can get those reps, whether it's live team reps or routes on air.
That's what has me so excited about the offense is you guys have played so well this year, and you look in the game and you had a I don't know if you call it a drift route, or you had like a little post that he ended up kind of skipping to you. And then you had a juke route that you guys weren't on the same page, but it's like those things, time on task, like as you continue to get on the same page with that, this offense, I mean, is already an unstoppable offense. It's just going to go to the next level. And that it gets me excited watching the tape and just seeing those things and how they're going to continue to get better and better as the season goes on.
Yeah, that's basically what I kind of said something to that effect after the game when I was talking to the media. Like, it's almost a more like a better feeling knowing that we aren't operating at the highest of our capacity and we still can go out there and, win games, let alone, some of these games that we've won convincingly without playing our best ball too. So obviously that's a big piece of it is me making sure that I do my part in getting continuing to build on the connection with him. But yeah, I got such a good team and good teammates that, if it isn't rolling with he and I, we know that somebody's going to be able to pick up the slack. And if it isn't working with them, then, I'm going to be able to make it work with Matthew so we can, we can keep pushing that ball and keep scoring touchdowns.
What have you gotten to appreciate about him, Davante? Obviously getting to know, obviously you played with, special quarterback in Aaron Rodgers and had a lot of time with David, but what is it about Matthew you've gotten to get, enjoy and being around him and just as a player that you respect?
He's just so cool, man. Like I never been
he is, dude.
And I mean that just like truly cool, not like he's trying to be cool, yep. like a when I think of somebody like trying to be cool, I think of maybe like Joe Burrow. I don't think of that type of cool. I think of like, and I don't mean that negatively about Joe because Joe's great.
I
love Joe too, honestly. But I think of Matthew's not trying to be anything. He's just literally himself. He's gonna throw that smothered down Dodgers hat on every day. He's gonna come in with some beat up Air Force Ones and that aloe jacket, and he's just gonna be the easiest guy in the world to work with. And that's, like I said, I just texted him the other day, and I was like, bro, working with you has been amazing. Like the communication, the personality, just all of it. He's just the same exact dude every day, and obviously a hell of a baller. And I told him on the plane too. I said, man, look, I don't like to take me. I'm a humble guy. Don't like to take too much credit for a lot of stuff. But I will say that yours, Matthew, Puka, some of these coaches, I think I kind of stepped up y'all swag since being here because we know Cooper Kupp is a hell of an individual and I love him to death. But that man, we know he wasn't bringing a whole lot of swag to the equation.
No, not a swag guy.
Yeah, and
not a swag guy.
And I told him that too.
Or deodorant. But yeah, no, but listen,
I did hear about that too.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's why we did a deal last week where we kind of talked about awards that we give midseason. I gave Matthew the Kevin Costner award because I thought he's just like there's just a swag and a chill to who he's not trying. Yeah. He's just walking around. The hair's disheveled. He's got the sweater, the aloe jacket, the backpack. Yeah. He's not trying at all. And he's just like, dang, that dude's swag. Like he's got swag and but if you know him, he's not trying at all to have any. No. He's just that cool of a dude. Like he's just that chill.
He's on the most Tom Brady trajectory in many ways. One, because he's getting better at football, and he's also like getting more attractive for some reason. I don't know. He like looks better than he did early in his career, which is weird that he's like Benjamin Button. He's like,
well, he's a little chunky.
Yeah, he's slimming out in LA. That's what it is. And it happened to Whit too. And look where we're at.
The LA effect. You're right,
Davante. The LA effect, baby.
Told you.
Hey, speaking of the LA effect, Sean McVay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my. I mean, we had him on. He's talking about all the things he's doing to his hair and his look what about him as a coach? How cool has it been to get to know him on a personal level?
It's been, it's basically like working with, he's obviously not the same personality. I say slightly more intense than what Matthew is, but he's just such an easy guy to work with, man. He gives everybody, main thing that I respect about him is just the way he goes about treating people in the building. He puts his foot down, that's for sure. Like everybody knows that he's the boss in there, but he don't walk around like he wears the big draws. He empowers everybody, and everybody in the building, from the video guy to, the people in the meal room. Like whoever it is that he's dealing with, he's gonna make you feel like you're one of the most important people in that building. Even when we, first established the 53-man roster, he went through, spent like an hour talking about every single person that made the roster and what they bring to the team. which I thought was absolutely unbelievable because you think, he'd talk about Matthew Stafford naturally and say, had this big spiel and then, talk about, Dolak, for 2 seconds. No, Matthew Stafford got however much time. Sean Dolak got the exact same amount of time. Davante Adams got the exact same amount of time and intensity and just like, you can truly feel that he appreciates everybody. And I think that allows for people to come and really enjoy coming to work. And that's why you get the product that we have. And, I've been in buildings where guys are dragging, they coming in the meetings, the last second, or coming and showing up to the building last second. Their car is gone immediately as soon as we're done with practice. They almost taking shower pills to get out of that thing. But we looking at this roster like the whole training room is filled up for an hour after we're done. It's like dudes are in there. It's not a race to leave because people enjoy being in there. Every single room in the building, you get the most out of guys. You go in the weight room, there's crazy competition between, DBs and wideouts, or, where they put the numbers up there so you can see the speeds that everybody was moving the weights. So when you come in, we lift first, so the DBs go in after. They're trying to chase my weight, which they can never do. Yeah, and it's true. But yeah, it's just so much competition.
You can squat more than Emmanuel Forbes?
Yeah. I think my single leg RDL was more than his double leg, to be honest with you.
Oh, gosh. That's great. That's awesome. Speaking of enjoying the building, talk to me about Puka, man. Have you ever seen a guy just reckless abandon with his body, enjoyment of life? I always say he's like the Ted Lasso character, football is life. Like literally, like every day, this dude just loves playing the game of football, man. Yeah. What's it like being around Puka?
Puka is the most dense human being I've ever met, I think, in my life, to be honest with you.
He's got his bones they got to be studied, man. This dude is reckless.
No, I mean that physically and figuratively. He is like, as far as like everything he's about, all the stuff he's into. He's the best rally man that I've ever seen, and I think you know what I mean by that.
Oh, I do.
He has for a person to have as much fun in life as he does. Usually, they're not locked into their craft at the same clip, And Puka is a dude that absolutely lives and breathes, sweats, drinks football. Everything about him is football. But he can also go out there and just be the greatest vibe that you've ever seen, whether it's going out to dinner, going out, have some drinks, whatever it is. Like he's my kind of guy. Like I really appreciate a person like Puka because he's so happy, fun loving, such a good energy and vibe for our team. He keeps really this team together, man, just because obviously we know what he can do as a player, but just as a dude and just how happy he is. He's the most excited person in the world when anybody else makes a play on the field. He's handed out a few concussions to us, after slapping some helmets, that's for sure. But you can just feel the energy and the how much he loves it. Every single time he steps in the building and he gets on that field.
That's cool. I took him this offseason. Al Michaels was a big fan because he heard Puka doesn't like vegetables as well. So we went to dinner with Al Michaels. And when I tell you Puka was like the biggest joy, he was so excited to meet Al, to listen to Al's stories. And he shared his story about meeting LeBron, which if anybody's never heard, you should go look up a clip of him. But like him describing meeting LeBron and like rolling his sleeves up. And he's like, I'm going to make this the best dap I've ever had in my entire life. Like it's Puka to a T. Like he can turn into a 4-year-old in like 2 seconds that is the most excited to meet Mickey Mouse. And he's just talking about something he loves. And you're just like, man, dude, this dude's so pure with everything he does, man. And you're right. He's pedal to the metal all the time. All gas, no brakes. That is literally Puka Nacua in everything he does.
Look, I'm not a judgmental dude, but if I found out that a person had an issue with Puka Nacua, that would tell me everything I need to know about him. Like I'm not trusting anything that you got to say. I don't want to hear a movie request, nothing, bro. Like if you don't like Puka, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, you got issues.
No doubt.
I thought you were telling a story about Al Michaels meeting LeBron at first.
No.
Like, oh, what did Al?
He started telling Al. He was like, Al, you want to know how I met LeBron? It was like all of a sudden Al talking to his grandchild. It was like Puka was so excited.
That's great.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
Hey, Davante, Al is a warrior, man. The Thursday night games on the East Coast get over pretty late. We'll get back to the hotel. It'll be 1 a.m. or whatever it is. Al Michaels is up every Thursday night waiting for us with a drink in hand.
Sitting at the bar.
It's like Whit and I are like, oh, no, we got to stay up with Al. I mean, Al's the one that keeps us up on the road. We're like, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot for me to be in that position at that age. I'm telling you right now, I'm already an old man.
Hey, he don't let you leave. You got to stay up till he has a little alarm he sets some weeks to like make sure he goes to bed at a certain time. But he gonna make you sit there until he leaves. You sitting there too. If the legend's sitting there at 81 hanging out in the hotel bar, you can't go to bed.
You're not telling me it's anything other than some whiskey or some scotch in that cup too.
I think I think it's vodka. I think he's a vodka guy. But you got to imagine, like for us, listen, he does it every halftime. He gets a chance to address us. They make us stand on the field and he shows like, hey, here's the TNF crew. So we have to like, hey, if I don't show up, Al's got the biggest microphone in the world. 17 million people listen. You don't know what he might say if you don't show up. So, hey, we sit there every week like, hey, we're going to be in attention, Al. We got you, baby.
No doubt. I can see Al airing you out a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, he gets it.
He crushes me always.
Good.
My outfits and everything.
Good.
It's well deserved.
Yeah, he gets us at home too because he'll say, yeah, listen, these guys, I don't even know if they came home last night to the hotel. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Appreciate it, Al. That's great. Yeah. Awesome. It's so good.
Davante, my birthday is coming up November 24th. I'm telling you that because, yes, I want you to get me a present, but also because when I was growing up, it was always around Thanksgiving, and I love that. But I just saw your birthday is December 24th, right around Christmas. So, like, as a kid, what were your thoughts on having a birthday so close to Christmas?
You know what? I still remember the day that I found out in middle school or in elementary school that certain people celebrate half birthdays. And that was like the craziest thing in my life. I was like, so I can celebrate this thing in June potentially and double up? Because my whole life I was getting one or the other. Like even my uncle one time gave me one shoe on my birthday and the other shoe the next day on Christmas.
Yes.
So I was like,
that's awesome.
That's when I decided, I said, yeah, I need a Jordan deal when I get older. There's no way I'm ever dealing with this again. I need both shoes on the same day from here on out.
Yeah, that is freaking awesome.
Not the best. I mean, it's obviously cool. The other part was not that I was like this big attention-seeking dude, but like I always thought it was pretty cool when you go to school and get the love from everybody, you know, all your classmates on your birthday. And I've never been in school on my birthday before.
Yeah, you're always on break. Yeah. Oh, I guess, Fitz, you were the same way growing up then, right? Thanksgiving week?
Sometimes. It was like, because sometimes school will go till Tuesday or Wednesday. So it just depended on where it fell. But yeah, nothing like that close to Christmas. I got a buddy, his birthday's December 26th, and it was never a fan.
No, I think it's worse. Honestly, I think if you're a day after Christmas, you did a little bit more dirty because people they're just not, like, they're still high off Christmas. They're not, like, building up to anything. It's still, like, kind of on that. And the last thing they're thinking is, like, oh, I just dealt with this big eventful Christmas. Let me, go drop off a gift for you the day after Christmas. Like, I'll take the 24th. Christmas Eve is a little bit cooler, I think.
Davante, I got to ask you now, we rank a lot of things. I got to say, barbershop style, if you had to rank it, what would be is there a 1, 2, and 3? What would be your top 3 Taco Bell? I know obviously you and I both love Taco Bell. You've had a kind of a brand deal with them for a while. I know you love them, and we always got to hear, I see the shirt. Yeah. Don't worry. I know you got to show us the Taco Bell kitchen there in the house, but tell me the top 3 things at Taco Bell. What we got?
Well, the number 1 got to be Crunchwrap Supreme.
That's always been your favorite. Yeah. You always list that one.
Crunchwrap's been my thing forever. I would say it's pretty easy for me. I'll go Crunchwrap Supreme, no tomatoes. I would say number 2, we're going to have to go with the caramel apple empanada, which actually just got taken. I had that put back on the menu. It was on the Y2K menu, which it's been coming and going. It actually just got taken away. But it'll be back. Don't worry. And number 3, I would say we'd have to go a Baja Blast freeze or a mango whip freeze. When the mango whip freeze is active, that's one of the best slushies you'll ever have in your life.
I mean, that's real. I mean, Whit, do you want to he's probably heard your story before.
God.
I don't know. But
yeah, that always gets an interesting rile out of people. No, so what I said, Davante, is when I was growing up, obviously loved Taco Bell. And this is when they used to do like 10 for 10 packs, all that type stuff. Yeah. And I was a big boy. All right. I was a 300 something pound high school kid, 6'7". I could eat a lot of food. All right. And you can imagine most high school kids can eat a lot of food. When you're that big, I could eat a lot of food. Yeah. So when I would have to go to parties or dates or be like, if the guys were going to be around girls, I'd get embarrassed because I ate so much. So I'm like, man, how can so my thing was once I was able to drive, I would go to Taco Bell and I would grab like a 10-pack, like bean burritos, tacos, Mexican pizzas, you name it, whatever I could get. And I would just crush. And then I would go like pick up my date, or I'd go to the party or whatever. So that way I could be like a little full. Now I still ate when I got there. Don't get me wrong.
It's gross.
But it was the only way I could control my appetite, because I'm like, dude, I would get in front of, I had no manners whatsoever. I mean, like, listen, I've changed a lot in California. All right? Yeah. I mean, I just have food everywhere if I went ate without eating before. So I had to do a little pre-Taco Bell was my thing. I'd go to Taco Bell. It's easy. It's in the wrappers. You eat the burrito, throw it away, and I would just devour. And then I would go out to eat. That was it.
You know what? I've never heard that before.
Tay, this is the shit I was dealing with when we were in Cincinnati. That was before LA Wit.
Oh man,
I've never heard of. Okay, I've heard many different things, and I've heard of a lot of different ways that men. I'm trying to say this as PG-13 as possible. Men have done many things to prep themselves for some sort of engagement in the future that they think.
Oh God. Wow. Hey, listen.
I've never seen this.
That wouldn't happen. Hey, I'm just there to chill, man. All I want to do is not be hungry. All right, that's the only thing I'm worried about. All I was worried about is not being hungry.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's good. I mean, I knew my priorities. So you saying it took a 10-pack as an appetizer to get you just warmed up?
Warmed up. Tell you, I could eat, bro. Wow. I could eat. Wendy's, I used to do like 8 double stacks in a sitting. Man, I could take down some food, man. I could crush some food.
Sheesh. I wouldn't enjoy having to eat that much. I know that was kind of a preference. I don't know if it was like a business thing for you, but I don't know if I would enjoy putting that much food in my body at one point.
No. Tay, guess what? Take a wild guess at what LA Wit's favorite food in the world is. I'll give you a clue. It's really expensive.
Oh my God!
His favorite food, like a restaurant.
Yeah, like if we're going to a nice restaurant
and we go to a steakhouse, I always order this now. It's kind of dainty, but it's now my favorite thing to eat. So
what, a petite filet or what?
No, it starts with a C and it ends in an aviar.
Oh,
everywhere we go where there's caviar on the menu,
wow.
He gets caviar, and then we'll go somewhere and the caviar won't be as good as the caviar he's used to.
That's a status thing, brother. That's what that is.
Wow. I know.
Yeah, that's wow.
Hey, this is what I'm telling you. He didn't used to be like this.
That's like, I don't know if you ever seen in Dubai, they don't flex with their car. Like they'll get like a Rolls Royce, but the real flex is the license plate. Like I feel like that's the thing. Like he's like, we can go to the same restaurants, but y'all not eating the caviar like how I am.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Do you know in Dubai, do they drive their own cars or do they have drivers that take them everywhere?
I don't know. Here we go.
Probably ask Whit.
I know what they do in LA. So,
I can't talk mess. I get dropped off at every game.
Yeah. I'm about to say, hold on.
Yeah, all good.
We're going too far.
Yeah.
Dude, Tay, we're excited to see how this season ends up for you guys. I know you guys got Super Bowl aspirations, but it's been fun watching you over your career and getting to know you the last few years, and awesome to see you having so much success.
Thank you, brother.
So,
appreciate it, Ty.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate
you taking the time.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Yep.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You know, Whit, I've been making some changes to my diet.
Okay, now what made you do that?
Well, the holidays are coming up, and that means getting lost in sweets and plenty of snacking. You know me. I'm not going to change that. So I started drinking AG1 to get a full spectrum of micronutrients from Whole Foods to start filling nutrition gaps with.
All right, now you've got me interested. I need to know a little more.
Okay, well, it's clinically shown to support gut health, which is good in my case, and fill in common nutrient gaps.
Plenty of space for it to do that for you, but how does it do that exactly?
Well, with 5 probiotic strains and 75 plus vitamins and minerals, it does it with. AG1 Next Gen can replace the needs for multivitamins, probiotics, and more.
Wow, that's a lot of vitamins and minerals.
It sure is, buddy. And everyone knows the end of the year can bring stress and disrupt our routines. That's why it's even more important to have prebiotics, probiotics, and enzymes to support gut resilience.
We all needed to know that, I believe. So, listen, I think when I think of a product like this, it's definitely the one I'd use, Fitz.
Yeah, head to drinkag1.com/FW to get a free welcome kit with an AG1 flavor sampler and a bottle of vitamin D3 plus K2 when you first subscribe. That's drinkag1.com/FW. Davante Adams, man. As I was going through that, how about that? 103 catches away from being third all-time in catches for a receiver in NFL history. When you start putting your name up there with Jerry Rice and Larry Fitzgerald, that's when you know you're in pretty good company. I've always, the Stevie Johnson thing that I asked him about, I've always seen it. You can tell these guys, I'm glad he mentioned Keenan Allen, that are basketball players first and receivers second, just by their release patterns. And that's why he's been so dominant, and it's so fun to see the red zone stuff. And it was on display again against Seattle this last week.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we talked about what a special combination that is with really what Sean McVay loves to do on offense. And then now having a guy like that, where if you want to leave him one-on-one, especially down there in the red zone, good luck. He's an all-time type guy, man. I've played a lot of golf with him. Man, just a great human, great dude, ultimate competitor. He does not play around. Even on the golf course, he is dead serious all the time.
Serious.
You talked about it a little bit of American Century, but he's that way just in a casual round of golf. Dude loves to play. Really cool too for his 1,000 receptions. If 17th guy to do it. I mean, did he plan that? I mean, it's like he says he doesn't pay attention to stats, but pretty wild that is number 17.
Too big of a coincidence.
I don't know. I feel like Davante might have been like, hey, let's wait one more week, or let's wait one more year. I want to pace myself here because that's pretty cool to do it as the 17.
Dude, we've had some side discussions on this, but I actually walk away from that game more confident in Seattle being the best team in the NFC. And I know you're going to argue with me, and I know you probably think it's the Rams, but I don't know. I mean, yes, Sam Darnold, once we saw the turnover early, it's one of those things as a quarterback. Sometimes I don't want to say ghosts because I'm not making a joke about the seeing ghosts thing, but sometimes you have demons or scars as a quarterback against particular teams. We all know kind of what happened with him and the way the season ended in Minnesota with the Rams and the 9 sacks and not having a great game. And once there was the little mishap at the beginning of this game, there's that little voice in the back of your head. It's there, and it keeps talking to you, and it really – he's got to get off to a quick start in this next game in order for them to have a chance. But he played, he turned the ball over 4 times. That's as bad as he's played all year. I watched that tape. I come out of it even more impressed with Seattle's defense after the first 2 series. They got put in a bad spot with one of those turnovers. And Seattle didn't have a hard time moving the ball. Now, did it result in a lot of points? No. Red zone defense for the Rams was great. But I'm feeling pretty good about the Seahawks, baby. What do you think, Whit?
Hey, listen, so is Richard Sherman last week. So, hey, I listened to all the banter. I mean, Sherman was like, I don't see a single place that the Rams have an advantage in this game. Here's what I would say. I mean, even in Mike McDonald's best year, the Baltimore Ravens, and they dominated as a defense. He was the defensive coordinator. We all think of that Niners team, how special they were, and that game they had against them, just absolutely shut them out. There was one team that season that scored 30 plus on them. It was Los Angeles Rams and Sean McVay. I believe that Sean is a special play caller, and I believe that he's a special football coach. So like I told you, I hear the Sam Darnold talk. Here's the reality. The Rams didn't play very good on offense either. They just didn't have the turnovers, and that's what led to the difference in this particular game. Yeah. But in a rematch, Sean McVay prepared, knows how you want to kind of play him. I still think we're going to see new wrinkles and different things and taking advantage of opportunities. And then on the other side of it, like I told you, yes, is there some opportunities Sam Darnold could have hit in this game? Sure. Don't have the turnovers. All right. But the reality for Seattle is, what have they not been able to do all year with much consistency? Run the football. And until you can show that you can do that, what the Rams can do, they can throw it all over you with Matthew Stafford, as they've proved all year, and Kyron Williams and Blake Corum and that offensive line and the tight ends when they get into 13 and even out of 11 with Puka, they can mash and play physical football and run the football as well. Those things aren't going away. But Seattle, to me, is going to have to get more consistent running the football, because how the Rams played them, they said, hey, you know what? A lot of times we'll just play a lot of dime, and we're just not going to respect respect the fact that you guys can run on us. We don't have to play big. We don't have to play heavy. And that's what Seattle's been able to do some teams this year. They get in 12 personnel. They get in a 13 personnel. They can put multiple tight ends on the field, and they actually throw the ball down the field. Well, the Rams said, hey, we're not falling for that trick. We'll stay lighter, and we'll make you prove that you can run the football on us. And I think, to me, they're going to have to answer that, and Sam's going to have hit some big shots. But I also think they're going to play a more prepared Rams offense, that Sean McVay is going to be in his bag and ready to go with how you decided you want to play them. And you're going to have to handle that too. So I think things will even out. I think it's going to be another freaking war. But I will say this, I walk out of it going, I think Seattle and LA might be the two best teams and the most consistent teams week in and week out right now in the NFL, period, much less just the NFC.
Yeah, I think when Seattle watches that game too, Sam Darnold can use his legs a little bit more. I think that's going to help him out. And then I think, how do we unlock Rashid Shaheed? He's new to the team. There's a couple opportunities in that game where Sam, he's looking at JSN, and for good reason. He's absolutely been on a tear all season long, but as you've seen in single high, sometimes that safety starts to tilt over to JSN. Shaheed's the kind of dude, and there's one play in particular I'm thinking where he ran this high-angle corner route, and it was the play that looked like a fumble, but Sam threw it, somebody hit his arm, ended up trickling down. It was an incompletion. Plays like that, if he can get on the same page with Rashid Shaheed and look at him as the number one, knowing that play is going to be it, and hit it down the field, that's going to unlock a new level in this offense. The other thing that's funny to me, and we've talked about this just covering them the last few years with Kenneth Walker, he's such a mystery because he's explosive. He's one of the better athletes in the NFL when he has the ball in his hand and it's right, and he made some big plays in that game, but I gotta imagine it's just maddening coaching him. There's a reason that he's not getting the ball on every play, that he's not an every down back, that he's not their go-to guy. I think he struggles with his vision at times, with his patience. He's got a lot of negative yard runs, sometimes even struggles in taking a handoff, some of the fundamentals of the game. And so whenever I watch him play, you're like, how do we not get this guy more touches? But there is a frustration there, I think, on the coaching level of just those basic fundamentals and things he's not able to do. Now, he had a touchdown called back too. That would have changed the game. Cheaters. You had the refs on your side, Whit.
Oh, yeah.
What about that? What about that jacket that you're sporting there? What is that? I didn't get one.
Oh, they gave me this. That you didn't get one. Oh, I went to the game and they had it for me in my seat. I'm sorry. Maybe we'll have to call Kev. We'll call Uncle Kev.
Yeah. Hey, Demoff, where's my jacket?
I'm sure he'll be excited about that. Yeah, Fitz, hey, the other one, dude. Your boy, Gilbert, Arizona, Brock Purdy, back.
Dude, how about it?
Dude, balling. The toe is feeling better.
So, like, the whole Mac Jones thing, it's been awesome. It's been admirable. He's played great. It's been fun, but this is Brock Purdy's team. And
I think that's over now.
I think I'm glad, but I'm glad that he came out and had a good game, because it would have been silly for him to come out to throw for 50%, for them to squeak by and barely beat the Cardinals. Like, we put that whole thing to bed. Brock Purdy is running this offense as efficient as anybody has ever run this offense in Kyle Shanahan's history. It was fun to watch, and I don't know how they keep doing it on defense, Whit. I mean, they play hard, they rally to the ball. They're a lot of fun to watch. I'm actually going to get a chance. I'm going to be in the booth, and I don't know. This is talk to me. I'm in the booth this next Monday night, which will be my birthday, for the Carolina San Fran game, calling it on Westwood 1. I figured, why not? Let's get some reps at this thing. Nobody's going to be listening to my voice. They won't get to look at my ugly mug. It'll be fun for at least me to try it out and to see if that's something I'd like to do in the future. I know you've done it a little bit with the Rams in the preseason. Do you have any advice for me, Whit?
I don't know if I have advice as much as just to have fun, be yourself as always. But here's what I think is cool. I was at the Rams game. I was in the suite, and I got a chance to talk to Kurt Warner for a little while. Obviously he's called some games, calls a lot of the international games for NFL Network and that kind of stuff. And I was telling him about you getting an opportunity to do this, that you told me this might be a possibility. And I thought it was really cool, because you don't think of this when you're watching a game as that's on TV versus radio. He was talking about he actually enjoys radio the most. And one of the reasons is that in a TV broadcast, kind of what happens in the game and what really the network and people want to show that they think the viewer at home wants to see is really what you have to talk about. and you kind of have to cover the video that they want to re-show, or they're going to show 1,000 times over and over and over again this catch or this penalty or whatever. And so you're kind of driven to talk about that, right? He said the cool part about radio is it's truly just you. Like you can tell the fan, or you can tell the person that's listening in what you saw in the game and what you are interested to talk about. So you really get to drive the conversation and the feedback that they're getting. I thought that was a neat perspective, and that he really gets to tell his side of how he sees the game. So that each person that called a radio broadcast, depending on who they are, would have their own version of what they see the game and how they see the game of football. And so he thinks that's why that's so interesting to him, is that he was like, even if you called a game, it'd sound completely different than me calling a game. Whereas in a broadcast, we're probably talking about the same things, you just might articulate it different. And so I thought that was really neat. I thought that was a neat perspective of just like, you're going to call the game how you see football. And that's going to be really cool for the viewer at home.
What's really funny about that is Kurt Warner's the guy that I texted this morning, and I said, hey, I'm doing this, would love to talk to you about it. Just to get your advice and whatever. So there you go. I'll act like I didn't hear you say that.
There you go. See, there you go.
All right, I got one more thing, and I'm going to need your help on this one too, because you're best friends with Roger Goodell. I mean, we did the interview with him, and you sat in his chair the whole time, for crying out loud. We in the NFL have a problem, and it is not the tush push. We need to adopt a different rule, okay?
Okay.
I don't know if you were watching the Bills game, but Josh Allen, 3rd and 16, he's running like a wild man down the field. And at this point, he's like in full psycho Josh mode. And at the corner of his eye, he sees Ty Johnson on the sideline. So he pumps at him. He keeps running. He gets Davante David to commit, and he throws it to the sideline to Ty Johnson, who then runs for another 15 yards. This is like a 25, 30-yard gain, first down. The problem is, and I learned this the hard way because when I was on Tampa, I had a very similar play. I threw it to Adam Humphries on the sideline. In my mind, I'm thinking there's no way in hell that was a forward pass. The stupid law of conservation of motion. You could be running downfield at full speed. You could throw the ball behind you over the top of your head, and it could still be considered a forward pass by the way of the rule and the letter of the law in the NFL right now, which makes no sense to me because it would land in front of where it was released. Okay. So what do we need to do? There is a rule in rugby. It's very simple. Okay. We need to encourage the laterals. So essentially, let's see, the rule in rugby, I wrote it down here.
Does it have to do with conservation of motion? Or what would you say that word was?
No. The law of conservation of motion. No.
Conservation of motion?
So
no? Okay.
The rule in rugby is very simple. It is the ball needs to be traveling backwards at the time that it was released. That's it. Oh. And so we've seen some cool plays with Travis Kelce, but it's like, why in the NFL, why do we not want to see more of those plays? There's a huge risk-reward element to it. There's an excitement element to it that's going to add to the game. Like, why can't we change that? Because that was a cool play in the game. He threw it backwards, yes, but his forward momentum moved the ball forward. It ended up being a forward pass. It left his hand backwards. Let's change the rule, Roger. I would love it. It seems like a no-brainer to me. It would add excitement to the game.
All right? I'm going to text him right now. Roger, Fitz has a problem with conservation of motion. With conservation of motion. I want to implement a conservation of motion law.
That could lead to some other difficult conversations. I don't know, but yeah.
You think that's not the lead in?
It's just lame because it's a really cool play, and I agree. It was a backward pass, but yes, the forward momentum of Josh made it a forwards pass. Annoying, I think. Way annoying.
I agree.
Okay, good. Moving on. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
No, I am happy for you. Listen, I'll be glad to text Roger that.
One other thing I want to talk about from our week before, which was cool, is we were in Boston. So I got to see Brady. Went to a Celtics game with him on Wednesday night. And then me, you, your daughter Catherine, and Amy, we all went to Harvard, did a little tour of Harvard, Brady style, which was pretty cool. What was your favorite part about Harvard's campus? I know you've been there once before, but
oh man, obviously getting a chance to get on the tee and get on the train and go to Harvard was really cool. Got Catherine to go was awesome as well. Having your daughter with you to show her something like that. But I'm going to say probably my favorite was actually when we got a chance to take a peek in one of the classrooms because I think Catherine was like blown away. She's like Legally Blonde. That's all she could think about. And and I was like sitting in there like, wow, like it really just something about that lecture hall made you be like, wow, this is like real deal. Like this is Harvard University. I can imagine the people that have probably sat up there and gave a lecture and the people that have sat in that room and listened to it. Just something about it made you feel like, man, I'm in some place where who else has walked these halls, I guess is like how you feel. And then obviously when you go to the library is like one of my favorite for sure.
Annenberg is the name of the dining hall that we walked through, and that might be the most beautiful inside of a building on campus. And then we went to Sanders Theater, which was that lecture hall, which is so cool. And then Widener Library is your library that you love, which is so beautiful. And this time we actually had access. We actually had access because
Brady got us in.
My son has a swipe card. So the part that I didn't get to tell you about that I did, I stayed on Friday and flew out in the afternoon. I wanted to go to class with Brady. I wanted to check it out. I wanted to kind of relive the glory days. So we went to Math 55 together, and. When I tell you, first of all, the professor had a French accent, so it took me about half the class to actually understand what he was saying. And then they have the old school chalkboards, and then they can move them up and down. And so he had 6 pages of notes before I could understand any of the words he was saying. But I've never felt so dumb in my life. I had no idea. We're talking about abelian groups and Hermitian inner products. And then, yeah, exactly. So I'm like... Okay. It was math, but I didn't see a number the whole time. And then the teacher tells this joke about homomorphism of representation. And the whole room just starts cracking up laughing. And I am like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? So why is that funny? I felt like such a dum-dum, but that's one of the more intense math classes at Harvard. It was super fun to see Brady just like scribbling down copious amounts of notes into the whole thing. But really cool moment for me and to get to share that with you. And then also to get to hang out with Catherine and go on her first subway was a pretty neat experience. So
that was. I wasn't going to list so that was probably my favorite places to see when we went there. I mean, obviously we're going to talk about it, but Brady's room, we got to get some air freshener in there.
Not great.
Not Catherine's favorite. If she had to list her, least favorite parts of the trip, definitely Brady's room was.
I think she went she was plugging each nostril with a hand. It was so bad. Yeah.
She's like, this reminds me of my brothers. And, but I was going to say my actual favorite part of that day, I shout out Felipe. I mean, God bless almighty.
Felipe's taqueria, baby.
Felipe's taqueria, and also don't forget about Pinocchio's. I mean, come on,
we can't forget Noakes.
Oh, Noakes, that burger sandwich sub thing,
cheeseburger sub. But this is my problem. God. Every time I go back, I have to go to Felipe's. I have to go to Pinocchio's, and all of a sudden, you've already eaten a quesadilla / burrito. You have to get the cheeseburger sub. You have to get a Sicilian slice of tomato basil. And then you can't walk. I
will tell you this. From now on, if I ever step foot in Boston, I will be making a trip all the way up there to go to Felipe's. That was insane. And that burger, sub was insane too. But hey, from there, Fitz, I took a little journey. Me and Catherine decided not to go home on Friday. I wanted her to experience. You taught me the train life. So we took a train to New York from Boston. And
the Excella?
We took the Excella. We took the Excella. It was awesome. She loved it. And we had done the Seaport Holiday Market in Boston, and we went down to the Bryant Park in New York when did their holiday market. She got like lots of little Christmas stuff for the kids as far as ornaments and all that good stuff. Got herself a couple things. We did a little daddy-daughter weekend, went to dinner at CCIMO, place you and I went to dinner. It was awesome. She loved it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, just experience, let her experience a little bit. And then we flew home on Saturday. So it was a pretty sick, that was Catherine's first trip away with one of us. So she's done like little local things, but never gone away, like flying on a plane or going something with just one of us. So that was her first trip. It was pretty epic.
I think it's very important, families with lots of kids, to be able to do that too, to be able to make one of them feel special, to bring them on a trip, to have that special time. So I was loving it the whole time, watching you and Catherine and how special she felt in that moment. I'm bringing Zoe and Maze to the game on Thursday.
I can't wait.
Which will be fun.
That's going to be awesome.
All right, I need your help with something else too. You're just going to be hopefully full of advice today. That was really good. If you could go back to our Judge Whit days.
Okay. I'm interested in what this is about to be about. Is this Shador Sanders, or what are you about to ask me about?
No, I want to know if I can become a vest guy. Like, can you become a vest guy and still be respectable, or does it just mean that I've kind of a middle age and I've given up?
All right. Well, here's the thing, though. What kind of vest guy are we talking about?
All right.
Like, so give me the inspiration for this vest guy.
Okay. This has been spurred on the last month or so. So when I went back to Jersey for Nick Mangold's funeral, it's a bunch of my old buddies, and in Chatham, New Jersey, there's a lot of guys that go with the vest, the zipper, the pockets, but one that you would see like on a golf course. Maybe you start and it's a little chilly, and then by middle of the round you take it off. And so there's a lot of vest guys there. And then I went to the movie theater with all the kids, and we watched Back to the Future. It's the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future. Marty McFly. And like Michael J. Fox looks pretty damn cool in that vest. So it got me thinking, like, all right, I live in Arizona. Now the weather here right now, it's cold in the morning, but then by midday, like the sun shines out. It's warm enough to where like you probably shouldn't have a coat on. I hate windbreakers because that swooshy sound when you walk. I don't like that at all. So all of a sudden I'm thinking about the practicality of a vest. It's going to keep me warm in the morning. I can still keep it on in the afternoon if I want. I've got tons of pockets to be able to put stuff. So I tried one on as a joke. I got a nice compliment, which like, I don't know. My fear of becoming a vest guy is that it's hiding something. Like I'm doing it because I've got this, dad bod pooch that I'm trying to hide.
Is that a negative? I don't know. I mean,
right. So that's not a bad thing, right? Because it's like all I do, like this shirt right here, all I do is wear shirts that I've had for 20 years that are getting ratty and a little bit tighter than they should. So I feel like I can keep the same shirts that I've been wearing and just put a vest over it. It hides things and it's fairly respectable. But then I get into do I have to wear a polo and a vest because now I'm a middle-aged man? I need your help. I need your advice.
Oh man, here's the other, like the positives. I probably see this. Like, here's the thing. I could kind of see you as like a Tommy Shelby. Okay, Peaky Blinders.
I'm gonna write that down. I don't even Tommy Shelby.
Peaky Blinders. Tommy Shelby with the flat cap and the little dressy vest.
Oh, I could see the flat. I love that Irish cap.
Okay, so see, I could see you as like Peaky Blinders, except for you're like the beard gang leader. Okay, so like beard, flat cap, the vest.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I could see you in the Peaky Blinders look, and then I was also thinking like, I don't know. The first thing when you said that, the first thought I had was you went Marty McFly, also good. I thought Han Solo, like like almost the Han Solo look, because Han Solo was kind of like the long sleeve baggy T-shirt, and then the black, like the vest, and so I could see he was like Han Solo. He's also kind of dead inside, he wasn't into the emotional things. So I could see you as like a Han Solo guy.
No, I'm not. No, because I think his was leather. I would rather be a Michael J. Fox than a Han Solo. But I appreciate you at least thinking about it and putting in the effort. But what do you think about the polo underneath versus the T-shirt underneath? Can I do T-shirt or
polo is going to scream where I'm from. Like you go to Ole Miss, you go to LSU,
pretty waspy.
Louisiana,
it's pretty waspy.
Mississippi. Yeah. That's kind of like. Yeah, I'm going to wear a polo because everyone wears polo and jeans everywhere. And then I'm going to throw a vest on because I might go fishing after this. So I don't know if that's the T-shirt vest kind of screams to me. It's like your version of everyone in LA wears a T-shirt and a bomber jacket. It's like your version of the bomber jacket. Like, hey, all right, I won't just wear a T-shirt. I'll dress it up a little bit for you and throw on a bomber, right? It's how I got to the hoodie look because I wanted to wear a hoodie everywhere. And then people would be like, dude, you look sloppy in a restaurant. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'll grab a bomber and I'll throw a bomber on with a hoodie. And now I'm technically dressy. And so that's how I got to the look. So, all
right. Well, I'm going to try it. Here's all I ask is don't make fun of me.
You are, right?
I don't want you to make fun of me. I'm
not going to make fun of you.
Okay, so let me do it. Let me try it.
If you go to Tommy Shelby, you got to go flat cap vest, and then I think you need to go back to fade o'clock and get that you get that look.
Yeah, I'm getting a haircut this afternoon. Oh, Whit, beard of the week.
Oh yes.
So look, we finally put something out on Twitter or on X and on Instagram, and it just shows like some of the people that have won our beard of the week, because we don't. Like usually it's us doing the dirty work and we're out in the wild finding guys and we love doing it, but we haven't had a ton of submissions that have been worthy. Well, guess what? This week we got a submission from one other than my wife, Liza. She was at the grocery store. She ended up chasing this guy down in the grocery store parking lot. Look at that beard.
That's some length.
Yeah, it made me feel very inferior. But this is going to be our Beard of the Week winner this week because I thought I love the effort by Liza.
We love it. Team effort.
Hopefully it encourages people to submit more beards because there are some beautiful ones out there. And look, I feel like our beards have been a lot about length, but it's not necessally about length. We love a well-groomed beard too. We're all shapes and sizes and colors. So
if you've got a well-groomed girth, what's wrong with that? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't see any problem.
That's awful. And then the last thing being my buddy Brian Edwards. He was the one with the freshman year roommate that was the founder of Airbnb that he didn't know about. He runs Hoppes Brewing Company, as you know, in San Jose. And so the Super Bowl is going to be out there. And for the Super Bowl, I think we'll probably host a few podcasts over by one of his many locations of Hoppes. But he is going to make a beer for us.
What? Yes.
So, yeah, he's going to make a beer for us, and he's going to call it the Fitz and Whit beer. And there actually is a style of beer that is wit beer. So it's a little play, Witbier, wheat beer. So Fitz and Whit beer, which is like a Blue Moon, basically, is what it's going to taste like. So we'll have a lot of drinkability. We'll be able to throw some orange slices in it. I thought that you'd appreciate that. So thank you very much, Hoppes and Brian Edwards, for that one.
Appreciate it, Brian. I appreciate that. You know, it's kind of like how I got Melissa. You know, I told her I was a little bit of wit and a whole lot of worth it. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God.
You didn't like that? No?
You know what? I wish she was on the podcast right now because I'm sure she would have something to say about
she'd
that.
Cuss me out or chew me out or something. It'd be something.
On that note, that's a good one to end on. Hit us up on social media. Nominate a friend or yourself for our next Fan of the Week. But that's it for us. We'll be back next Wednesday with all the biggest news from Week 12. Fitz and Whit is a Wave original. Thanks again to Davante Adams for joining us. What a guy. And thanks to our production crew. And thanks again to all you beardos for tuning in. Peace.
Peace.